Hello, everyone. Steve Edwards here, CEO of Premier Virtual. I'm excited to be on this video today with the true MVPs of Premier Virtual. Glenn and Jordan run our client success team, and they're here for you. For clients that already use our platform, you know Glenn and Jordan, you know how well that they help you. We get emails weekly from how they really benefit and help you setting up your events and training your organization on the platform. But for the clients that don't know, these are the face of Premier Virtual. They help set you and your team up on Premier Virtual, set your events up, train your organizations, and even train your attendees. So I've been at a lot of conferences lately, and people are asking me, hey, we know about Premier Virtual and the traditional job fairs that are done on the virtual platform, but what else is being done? And we show a lot of these things, but today we're going to go through the types of events that our clients are currently using us for and show you. Now, this is going to be very quick. This is not every event on the platform. We've done almost 8,000 events on the platform, but if you have more questions, we're going to be able to have Glenn and Jordan. You can reach out directly to them. You can reach out directly to me, and we can show you more how we can benefit you and help your business even more. So Glenn, I'm going to start with you. Take it away, Glenn.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. So we want to show you today just a little bit of what you can do on our platform. We are known for our traditional job fairs, and that's what a lot of our customers utilize the platform for. But over the last year or two, we've seen a lot of different types of events that have come out. And we're going to go through kind of, each type of event here in this list. But as you can see here, we have conducted workshop and training type of events, college fairs, youth expos and career explorations, resource fairs, second chance events with Department of Corrections, giving those in that area a second chance in the workforce market. We have held interview events where single companies can actually do hiring on the spot right there on the platform on that day. And then also some static job boards. So we see this a lot of times with holiday hiring events in the retail market, veterans transitioning out of service back into the workforce. And then also hybrid events and in-person events using QR codes to now gain analytics.
All right. Thank you, Glenn. So let's jump right into these events so we can show all of the viewers on here some of the types of events they're had. So Jordan, let's talk about some of the traditional job fairs that we have out there.
Okay, great. So traditional job fairs are mostly, what our clients use our platform for, such as this virtual job fair with Susquehanna. It's a monthly event. And then the New England Regional Job Fair. This had over 1,200 companies in this event. So the customization's there for you to be able to, categorize all of your organizations, whether that be by industry or by location, to make sure you get those clients meeting with those companies.
Jordan, you touched on something right there that was there. 1,200 companies in a job fair. When I say this at a conference, people look at me like, how did this happen, right? Or when the state of Massachusetts did a job fair last year with 17,000 job seekers and 1,700 companies. Can you talk just a little bit about, the customization and even the search bar that's up there to make it efficient, to take those 1,200 down to just the companies that the candidates are looking for?
Absolutely, Steve. So we have in the lobby, as you can see here, this is a candidate lobby. And as soon as they come in, they have bunch of employers to take a look from, or they have, customized locations available here. But to make it super customizable for the candidates to be able to narrow it down to what they're really looking for and be efficient, we have the filtering toolbar at the top, so they can search by job category, different industries that they may be looking in, job titles, so if they're looking for a specific title of work they want to work in, and then also location, so they can narrow it down even more, to get that very, very customized search for them.
So what you're telling me is I can take 1,200 companies,
Yep,
customize that lobby because I put my search function in there, see these 10, 15, 20 companies, and now I have a customized lobby to make my job search more efficient?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, that's exciting. Thank you, Jordan. What else do we have here? Some what do we got here?
So one of our clients, Career Source Northeast Florida, they particularly use traditional job fairs monthly. So as you can see here, October, all the way from the summer months into the now fall months, they've been doing the same job fair, just, every month, making sure that their employers or candidates are engaged.
So do they have to reset up that event every month?
No, and that's the perfect thing about this. We do have a cloning feature in our platform. So to do monthly events like this is easy by a click of a button.
Wow, thank you. What about
So
this?
an example,
What do we got here?
yeah. An example of this event is they have decided to break down their organizations into industry clusters. So you can see here, there's education and childcare, government, nonprofit, healthcare, all types of different industries. And also if, someone's looking to just view all of the participating employers, there's a category for that. So very customizable, and they create this same event every month just by clicking that clone button.
No, perfect. The apprenticeships is in here. We're going to talk about youth here in a little bit, so I won't even ask you to get detailed on that one. So what about the single employer type of events?
So Steve, I'll talk about this one here. As you can see, we've got two lobbies here set up on the screen. The companies that you see here really took some time in branding. So when you look at the Sudeco event, you can see that they have their building in the background. They have the categories broken down into the regions that they have opportunities in. Nice branding at the top of the lobby with that event banner. So this was a really targeted event just for Sudeco. But you can come in as a candidate. And if I live in the Northeast, it was very clear to me I could click into that Northeast category and then talk to a recruiter in that region. When you look at the one below here with the Southwest Keys program, this was another great event. They had a large candidate registration. They had over 2,000 candidates registered for this event. Wow. And what they did in their lobby is they broke it down into the types of degrees that a candidate may have. And then that would direct them to the right recruiter that can talk about those types of positions. So as you can see, they had a general information and benefit booth. That's going to be the HR team there to answer questions. And then if I had, let's say, a bachelor's degree, I could click into that bachelor's degree booth, and then I could talk to a recruiter that would specifically handle the jobs that require a bachelor's degree.
Right, that's exciting, right? And I touched on it with Jordan earlier that, right, those candidates have that customized lobby, right? So they're making it efficient. They're trying to, with this, it's like they made it efficient for their recruiters as well. So the right recruiter can talk with the right candidate. Efficiency and effectiveness is really, right, why the customized lobby comes in, but they really went above and beyond how they did that. So, all right. So workshops, Glenn, tell us a little bit about this event.
I loved this event. So this is from one of our Workforce Development Board customers, Golden Sierra, and I just think that they did a phenomenal job. We're going to talk a little bit more about this event later on in the presentation here. But what they did here is, as you can see from the first image, they had some resources and if you need any assistance, but then you'll notice that they had the Get Hired workshops, a virtual career fair, and an in-person career fair, all being held here on the platform. And yes, I know we're talking in person on the platform, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's look here at the workshops. So what they did is they actually provided a service to their candidates prior to the event even beginning. As you can see where the arrow points, these are all the different workshops that were held on August 3rd, preparing that job seeker for the in-person and virtual event. So now that job seeker can come in here on August 3rd and attend any one of these workshops. And when you click into one of these workshops, what it was a live person conducting this workshop. So whether it would be Job Search 101 or Interview 101, that candidate was able to gain those resources before the actual hiring events.
It's great, right? And they had live through the webinar portion of the Premier Virtual. They didn't have to go outside and use another platform. So
right.
And we know we're going to talk about this event. This is one of my favorite events that's ever been done on the platform because it has everything that's here, right? And you're going to see the in-person. And I know some of you that are watching, it's like, how are they doing it in person? That's the exciting thing about the hybrid that we're going to talk about at the end that's here. So colleges, how
Yeah.
are colleges using the platform?
Steve, I'll take this one as well. This was an event that I did. And as you can see, kind of a similar setup of what we just talked about. So what they did is they had a great sponsor. So Bank of America sponsored their event. You can see them right up there at the top. So they were able to really cover some good ground in advertising through that sponsor. But what they did is they did 2 days of workshops, and then they did a college and career expo. So on the 28th and the 29th of September, you could go in as a candidate and you could go through and take a workshop on, let's say, business and career pathways or college prep and vocational schools. Same setup. You go into that booth, you click into the booth, and there is that live person conducting that workshop for you.
Perfect. All right. Jordan, I know you work a lot with organizations on the youth side, and there's so many different things within the youth platform. So, kind of get into, the youth side, because we have a lot of clients that'll say, well, the PII and stuff like that, right? So we want to let everybody know is we don't collect social security numbers or date of birth or anything like that. So when these students from high school students all the way up that are on these platforms, they're registering just like they would on Facebook, Instagram, or anything.
Exactly.
With an email address. So Jordan.
Yeah, so we have started to see a lot more and more, youth events, expos, industry exploration, and things like that on the platform. And for this event in particular, which is one of my favorites, it's an annual event that one of our workforce boards in Florida, Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, they have this event every year, and it's super, super successful. They provide industry tours for the youth. So, and I believe it's anywhere between, I think it's like 14 to 18. They provided these different industry tours. And they also had keynote speakers speaking about the type of industry that they're in. So really just gave, them an all around, information on the different types of industries that are out there.
Touring the industries. How exciting is that you can do all of that right now electronically? Digitally.
Absolutely. And we have, a lot of our other clients are starting to do apprenticeships and job training, on the platform. Different types of youth events are really starting to pop up on the platform, and we're super excited about these.
Perfect. Yeah, we're, like you said, we're seeing a lot of the youth apprenticeships, the workforce, right? That they have the on-the-job training programs or the at-risk youth or anything like that can all be done right through the platform.
Absolutely. Same thing goes with, helping the seniors as they're starting to really start thinking about careers. They're graduating and they're thinking about what is going to be next in their new chapter in their life. And, a lot of our clients will go ahead and do these career explorations and invite the, the school districts that are within their, within their work board areas, and invite them into these types of events so they can start to, think outside the box and think about what they really want to do, with their lives. So
exactly. I love that, right? Because you can see, right, here are some of the careers that they have, right? Some of them have keynote speakers like that other one that we showed, and then some have military in there, as well as, different types of colleges in there. So they can hit all that aspect. Are you going right for a career? Are you going to college? Or are you going to the military? All right.
Absolutely.
In one aspect. All right. Resource events.
Yeah, so Steve, I'll take the resource events here. We do see a lot of resource events, and why I like these is it breaks down the barriers that some candidates may have in getting a job. So that could be anything like childcare resources where, hey, I can't really go back to work because I have a childcare issue. Well, if we can break down that barrier and provide a resource to that candidate, well, now that puts them back into the job market. Now, they may have other things that are kind of getting in their way, whether it's transportation, maybe they've got to get their license, they have to get something expunged from a court record. That is all resources. And if we can break down those barriers, more of those candidates will be back in the job market and applying to positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to talk about that, and we see that with a lot of the events that are out there is, they'll have their companies and industries that hire, but they have a resource one as well, right? Especially like transitioning soldiers, which we're going to talk about here in a second, right? The resources, the VA and everything but one thing that I want everybody to kind of think about with this resource event, Glenn, you touched on two things: transportation and childcare. When you're putting on an in-person job fair, what if somebody can't get transportation? What if they're working? What if they can't get childcare? They can't make that in-person event. With the virtual side of it, they can make that event and then so they can at least talk to the companies to get the interviews right through there. All right, second chance events. These are great events, from a couple different aspects. We have one of our new clients they're getting ready to do events in the prison. So the prisoners that are getting ready to get out, they have their ability to get online, but only to the link for this. So now, even though somebody's getting in prison and they want to be able to get out, they can have that. Again, they can put resources in there as well. But I was at a client last week and, they were telling me they were getting ready to do a job fair in the jail. They wanted to do it. They were kind of forced to do it, but a lot of the companies, their recruiters didn't feel comfortable going into the jail. So they didn't get as many companies as they were hoping to be able to do that, right? So this on the virtual side and the second chance kind of gives these people, right, those recruiters, that, hey, I'm not going in there, or right, these people that made a mistake, right, that want to get jobs that are out, maybe they can't go to the library because of whatever issue that they had, but they can log in to the platform to be able to still speak with companies and get those jobs that are out there. We're starting to see a lot of interview days, right? Companies that are doing interview days on the platform, right? With the feature that we're not going to get in all the features today, but the feature of the interview scheduling queue where recruiter can kind of put their time on there that they want to have one-on-one interviews. And then the candidates can come in and just choose the time and know exactly what time they're going to be talking with the recruiter, not waiting in long queues, hoping that in 30 minutes that I'm going to be talking to somebody and then the event ends or anything like that. This is specific time that the recruiter sets a time, the candidate chooses a time, one-on-one. Tell us a little bit about how and who are doing these interview days.
So I work with Sasser, which you'll see here on the screen on the left-hand side. And one thing that I love about their events is that they've been using our platform for, I think now close to going on 3 years now. And they're constantly hiring for retail companies. And from a job seeker perspective, I can go into this event knowing that I'm going to get an interview and the possibility of being placed that day. So it takes away a lot of that, hey, I'm going to go to a job fair and I'm not going to hear anything for, a month, or the onboarding process, where some of these job placement type of events are more on the spot. So that candidate goes in there with the intention of, I'm going to talk to somebody today. I'm going to put on my best interview and I'm going to get hired today.
Perfect. We see too, where sometimes they'll set up, the recruiting firm will set up the interview specifically for the companies out there, which is really good. And Sasser, they're a recruiting firm, right? They're thinking outside that box is, hey, we're going to have these days that are just the interview days for maybe one client, or maybe they have it for 5 to 10 clients. And it's their clients, they're doing the interviews, and some of them are doing it for their clients, and some of them have the clients on, and they're doing essentially an interview day for their clients right on the platform. All right. Seasonal hiring and job boards. A lot of people, when they think of job boards, they think of Indeed or ZipRecruiter, but we're starting to see more and more organizations that say, hey, we love the design of this and we love this. And they're starting to use that for job boards. Glenn, tell us a little bit about, job boards, who's using it and why they're using it and kind of what's on the screen here.
Yeah, I mean, think of the old days when, you used to go in, you want to get a job for the season, you go to the mall, you got your pen ready to go fill out all these applications, and you bounce from store to store to store, hoping to speak to a manager. What these events do is they're static, meaning once they start, they remain up for a month, maybe 2 months. And the recruiters are not really required to be online to talk with candidates, but they put their application link right there on their booth so that if a candidate goes into, let's say, Walmart, and they see that they have an application link, I can click that application link and I can go apply right through the platform. So it kind of takes that all those, walking around the mall and handing out all those applications and puts it into one place for you where you can shop for your seasonal position all in one spot in one day. I do see a lot of these through the holiday season, but we threw the holiday ones in here just because it is the holiday season. But there's a lot of companies that will just do a static job board for positions that they have open, set up the exact same way later on in the year.
But like they have their virtual recruitment suite 24/7 that the candidates can come in, see what they do, schedule the interviews, submit their resumes, and have all that in one place. All right, and I'm going to take this one because this is my favorite. Being a veteran of the great 82nd Airborne Division, we work with a lot of veteran organizations that really help soldiers that are either veterans that are out of the military or transitioning out of the military. And this is one of our clients, Vets for Life. They work with Fort Sill, Fort Polk, where they do events that are for transitioning soldiers. So you see here again, it has different types of industries. They have a live webinar during the event too, so people can come in and ask questions and they can go over. They have resume support services, but they also have their industry cluster. So again, driving that candidate into the right industry that they're going. Efficiency, effectiveness, it's here. So doing veteran-only job fairs is really, really big out there in the market. Now, Glenn, I know this is kind of your favorite event. Favorite type of event. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, so this is the hybrid and in-person model. And, I think that this is so important because, through COVID, we were strictly virtual. A lot of companies were virtual, but the mindset of the candidate went to that virtual mindset. Now, when you have a job fair that's in person, you may be missing out on those candidates that either like Steve mentioned earlier, maybe they have transportation issues, maybe they have childcare issues, maybe they're already in a position, they're working 9 to 5, but they're trying to better their career. So by having that hybrid model, you're capturing those candidates from that in-person and virtual world. Now, when we talk about in-person events, one of the amazing features, and I love that we added this feature, is the QR codes into our events. Now, what happens here is that if, let's say you are doing a hybrid event, and in the in-person portion of your event, each booth or let's say table that you have in the in-person event will have a virtual booth as well. Well, on their booth in the in-person side, they're going to have a QR code. Well, that candidate can then walk up to that table, scan the QR code, look at the jobs, look at the opportunities, and say, hey, you know what? This company has exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to get in line and talk to a recruiter. But what happens here is that company that just got that QR code scanned and the host of the event just got that data. So we now have a way of collecting analytics in an in-person or hybrid model.
How exciting is that, right? It's, I'm going to tell everybody a little secret here, right? They think Steve Edwards, CEO Premier Virtual, that I hate in-person events and I love virtual events. You're wrong. I love in-person events. I did it for 9 years, but it wasn't what my mindset was. It was about my clients. It was about the end user. If you only do an in-person event, you're only going to get the people that can make it to that event. If you're doing an event during the day and they're employed, but they're looking for a better opportunity, they can't attend an in-person event, but they can attend a virtual event. They could go on break. They could do anything like that, right? But the best thing out there is to have that hybrid. So you get the people that want face-to-face. I love face-to-face. I love to shake hands, but I also love virtual because it doesn't leave anybody out. Your goal as a host of an event is to give your end users the best user experience. Now, is that in person? Is that virtual? Or is it hybrid? Only you really know, but you got to take what's up in here and say, is it my mindset that I'm thinking of, or is it my end user? Now, we went through a lot of different types of events today, and I'm sorry I went over 10 minutes. All right. But we had a lot of really good information, for you on here. Again, if there's any other information, you can go directly to premiervirtual.com, request a demo. If you're already a client of ours, you already have Glenn and Jordan's email address. Put some time on their calendar, learn about that. We always have enhancements that's there, here. We appreciate everything that, you guys just spending a little bit of time with us today. So thank you. And we look forward to helping you in more than just virtual job fairs.